What do you think you're doing there? I'm going to publish this review video. I have to. That video contains sensitive information on the gripping Spielberg drama The Post. If you upload that video now, you could be facing serious... If we don't upload that video now, then YouTube loses. The internet loses. And boring review videos win. We're running with it. What is going on, everybody? Santiago here with Cinema Santi, and I've got my 1970s reporter outfit on because today we're talking about The Post. Then again, it is a little formal. That's much better. The Post tells the story of a noteworthy time in the history of journalism when the Nixon administration was putting pressure and to an extent actual orders on the Washington Post to refrain from publishing leaked documents detailing the United States' involvement in the Vietnam War. The action takes place in the early 1970s through the eyes of Katharine Graham, played by the esteemed Meryl Streep, as the country's first female news publisher and head of the Washington Post, and also in the newsroom, headed by lead editor Ben Bradlee, played by the esteemed Tom Hanks. There's a lot of esteem involved in this movie. Over the course of the film, we see the actions of investigative journalism go up against the national security of the US government in a tense political drama with the fate of free speech hanging in the balance. Let's get into a rapid review with my top 5 thoughts. Number 5, Spielberg Storytelling. When you watch The Post, you are watching a master who has perfected his craft. Steven Spielberg knows exactly where to put the camera, exactly when to move it, and he's very comfortable staging set pieces that capture multiple emotional elements, all without cutting away from the action. Just keep an eye on the camera when you watch this movie. When the characters move, the camera moves with them. When two people are locked in a struggle for power, the camera circles around them ever so slightly as they're sizing each other up. And in a rush to meet those looming printing deadlines, the camera switches to shaky, frantic motions as reporters scour through endless pages. These are just a few of the examples I saw throughout the entire movie, keeping me engaged and breathing unexpected life into a movie about a newspaper company. Number 4, cinematographer for life. The cinematographer for The Post is Janusz Kaminski, who's had a working partnership with Spielberg all the way back since 1993 with Schindler's List. See if you can spot his trademark style in this shot from Schindler's List, or this one from Minority Report, or Catch Me If You Can. If you're wondering, it's usually hazy lighting with those bright white windows in the background, and you are going to see a lot of that in The Post. Like here. See? White windows. Now, these bright white windows and lights are all for a purpose, and in The Post it creates these mysterious shadows across secret conversations dealing with the most sensitive information. You can really feel the tension in where the light falls and doesn't fall, and for that reason I wanted to give a shout out to the cinematography. Number 3, you're my favorite deputy. You bet we're talking about Tom Hanks. As the editor of the Washington Post and second in command to publisher-editor Katharine Graham, Hanks leads the newsroom with a wholesome confidence that is right up his alley. Hanks and Streep almost seem to exist in two separate worlds throughout the movie though, as Streep manages the business side of things and Hanks manages the journalists. Despite that, Hanks is sharp and entertaining to watch on screen, so expect his side of the story to deliver a lot of the humor. But just like every other piece of this production, he is a seasoned veteran in his field and overall gives a very commanding performance. More importantly, I just kept thinking about a Forrest Gump The Post crossover, you know? Like Vietnam is there, Washington DC is there, Forrest Gump was there, Tom Hanks is there. Fanfiction people, get on that. I want to see a world where Forrest Gump is editor of the Washington Post. Number 2, Better Call supporting cast. Because Bob Odenkirk is... You watch TV, Better Call Saul, he's Saul. Alright. Acting titans Streep and Hanks are backed up on this one by an incredibly strong supporting cast. You've got Sarah Paulson, most recognizable perhaps from her work in American Horror Story. You've got Bob Odenkirk, David Cross, who was very hard to recognize for some reason, but his voice gave himself away. And then you have Bradley Whitford, who is no stranger to political drama in his work on The West Wing, and we saw him most recently in Get Out. And then you have Tracy Letts, who played the father of Lady Bird, and Alison Brie, who appeared in The Disaster Artist in 2000. 2017. Whether through recent work or work that they have done previously in their careers, there is a wealth of acting talent in this supporting cast. These characters bring their unique voices and stylings to the conflicts at hand, and it is fascinating to watch them each bring different tactics to the table as they try and champion their respective positions. And I decided to call my number one thought on the post freedom of Streep, like the First Amendment, freedom of speech. There is a reason Meryl Streep is considered one of the best actresses working today, and you can see that in her performance in the post. From my viewing experience, I would describe her performance with one word, and that word is subtlety. Throughout the course of this movie, Streep walks a fine line between a strong woman who is in charge of the paper and this apprehension that came with being a woman trying to navigate a business dominated by men. It was the 1970s after all. But despite her situation, she rises above it. Throughout this movie, she comes into her own and takes Kath and Graham through a very powerful character arc. She doesn't come out swinging as a strong, commanding Meryl Streep. She demonstrates control and lets her character's personality change and grow based on the actions and decisions she makes throughout the course of the movie. It is a masterclass in restraint, holding until just the right moment and then breaking through to deliver a very satisfying emotional payoff. And those are my top 5 thoughts on the Spielberg movie, The Post. If you've seen the movie and you have any comments you'd like to share, be sure to leave them in the comments below. From the technical elements all the way to the performances, this was just a fantastic movie to watch, so I definitely recommend it. I'm going to give it a prepare to be amazed out of 10. The Post is a valuable story on the power of speech and the work of the press, and I had a very enjoyable time watching it, and that is no government secret. Thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you are into liking things, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more fun film conversations. You can also follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Cinema Santi for more film news and movie reviews. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.